quite a journey, and you know, for me, a discovery. When I turned 50, I discovered this thing and this guy back here, and all the same videos that everyone else did, and kind of found this interesting group. It's on. Hello. Yeah.
Right up to your mouth.
See how many knobs are on here?
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, I had discovered this group and then found this whole subculture, and it just intrigued me. And I think maybe you agree that it's quite a group of people, many characters. So if anybody had any questions, be glad to answer them. No questions? Good. Good. Oh, there's one. Okay.
Alan, did you ever get hooked up to your brainwave when you hit the bag? Like meditation, when you put your electrodes on.
Yeah, I did, and it was blank. Yeah, that didn't work out. That was a depressing day when they said, you know, I rated below a monkey, so it didn't work. No, I'd like to. Actually, I would love to take the rhythmic, repetitive sound of the speed bag into the world of rehabilitation, where they have found that external auditory rhythms actually work with people with movement disorders. And I think you saw that the repetitive beat of this here that can be a metronome. It's very hypnotic, and it's very repetitive. And people with all kinds of movement disorders actually react very well to moving to a beat. And I really believe the beat of the bag could be used with that entire group of people. That's my next journey, is to try to take it there. But as far as my question.
How do you teach this to somebody?
You teach it.
book.
Actually, that's a great question, because everybody that you meet is an individual. Some people have no experience, some people have some experience. Some people, I have to unlearn them a little bit before they can take it. But
Never done anything.
somebody that's never done it before, you just have them stand here and hit it. And you can stop it and hit it again, and now you're hitting the speed bag. We happen to hit it repetitively. But if you hit it repetitively, you'll notice there's 3 rebounds. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's an odd number. You don't have to use 3, you can use 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People that may have a disorder of their shoulder or their arm or whatever, maybe they can't do it in 3, but they can do it in 5. Maybe they can't even do it in 5. Maybe they just have to hit it and wait and then look at it. Now it's not even rebounding, but it's still moving, and I hit it again. It just depends on where the person is. But if you can get them to make a small circle with their hand and hit it lightly, and just start, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If that's too many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be odd. If the next punch comes from the same side, it has to be an odd number of rebounds. If it comes from the other side, it's an even number. There's 2 rebounds here, there's 3 rebounds here. And you take, and what you do is you take somebody and you try to get their position right. And one key thing is to get the bag positioned correctly. If the bag is way above you, it's going to be very hard to learn. If you can get the bag about in line with your chin, where you punch straight into the belly, the setup of where the bag is really helps the beginner get it right. Now, what was your second question?
Does it hurt your hands when you start?
No. Beginners, you know, we always say to wrap your hands. That's the most protective way. When you get to the level of that we are, you saw everybody that's a master of the bag in this, none of them were wearing gloves. And that's because we feel the bag better on our hands. And part of that is, if I overinflate this bag, it's going to feel like a brick. Most of us, when we hit it, we want to feel a little bit of give to it. If I want to jump speed a little bit on a real fast song, I might put a few extra pumps of air into it. And then it would hurt my hand. But most of the time, once we punch for a while, you just don't notice it on your hands. It's not that big of a problem. Question?
As an occupational therapist in the medical field, what you said before
for this gentleman, just motor disabilities and things like that. I think there's a huge market. And it would be great if you can train rehabilitation professionals, PTs, OTs. So I think there is a good market.
I agree. And I'll tell you, I have a video out that's probably the most unknown video of my group, but it's called Rhythm and Rehab, where I actually teach how to use the speed bag as a rehabilitation activity. And I made it for two reasons. One, for people that have a disability or a movement disorder, to teach them how they can use it. And the second reason was to teach therapists that want to consider this. This is what you need to know about the speed bag to actually use it. And I'll tell you that personally, because after I wrote the book and became, you know, the Speed Bag Bible, I had neurosurgery and my left arm was partially paralyzed. I had to learn how to use I've taught my left arm to hit the speed bag 3 different times. And the system that I used to teach myself how to redo this again was what I just showed this man. You hit it, I had to raise my arm up, stop the bag, and hit it again, because I lost deltoid strength and power to be able to do that repetitively. And it took 4 to 5 months before I could get back to doing this. And my book had been out for 5 or 6 years. Suddenly I couldn't use my left arm. And I used that as a way to retrain myself to do it, and you know what? That'll work for somebody else too. So I made a video called Rhythm and Rehab to teach people how to do that. But there's a huge amount of research that is showing through music therapy and brain researchers that the area like Parkinson's that's affected by Parkinson's is the same area that interprets rhythm. And then there's also, that's the same area that moves the body. We hear rhythm, and then you have to move to that rhythm. All of that is the area that's affected by Parkinson's, and repetitive sound helps those people when they have freezing movements. It helps them unfreeze, it helps their gait training, it helps the fluidity of their movement. And I truly believe that the repetitive beat of the bag can be a metronome, because we can hit this to a metronomic beat, or to a song, but basically a metronomic beat. That could be the metronome that they could use at home to use to help them do that. I've emailed some researchers about that. I haven't had any response back yet, but I'm pretty tenacious on that when I get onto it. But that's where I'd like to see it go next.
I'm Johnny Zero. It's an honor to be here. It's very intriguing. I have a 3-part question. I hate to be that guy. I'll be real quick because I know everyone wants to ask questions. You're talking about the rehabilitative from Rhythm and Rehab. My brother, not this one, my other brother, has cerebral brain hemorrhage, but his right arm works really good. Would it be possible to make a bag, a platform on the side of the bed? He dialed my phone number yesterday with his arm. I was just curious. I think maybe a crazy question. The second part of the question is, when's the sequel? And the third part is, can I be on the soundtrack?
I know where to find you.
I'll answer that backward. The sequel, the Art of the Bag 2, is somewhere in the brain of Joe Saba.
All right.
Yeah, we've talked about where we'd like to go next with it, and who knows? Almost every movie now has to have a sequel. I think we're at our infancy, and I can tell you that at the end of the movie, when you saw Matthew hitting, punch drumming, I have footage on my camera that makes that look like beginner's work. He has gone so far beyond. It's amazing what he can do.
Yes, sir.
And I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, and I can say this honestly, many of the people in that video are far better on the speed bag than I am now. And that's fine, because now they teach me new things. And what better honor can a teacher have than to have their students come back and teach them? Because they brought the wonder back to speed bag for me. They really did. Now I'll answer the other part of your question by saying sure. So they have found through stroke research that if the one part of, if the side that moves will work,
Yeah.
there is transference to the other side. Particularly if you will also move the other side in rhythm, doing it with sound. There again, research has shown that will work. There is crossover. The brain will train itself. And sound is a big way to do that. Humans entrain to music. They've done it since we were in the caves, and it works. And I truly believe the speed bag, beyond boxing, I don't even care about taking it. I've never cared about boxing with a speed bag,
Right, right.
because I'm not a boxer. I want to take this into rehabilitation. I'd rather have it in the garden clubs than in the boxing clubs, to be honest with you. Because boxing and hitting people, that scares people. I don't want anybody to be afraid to bring their kids to the speed bag and learn how to use it. And what you're going to see in a minute is actual live drumming with the speed bag to show you that this is a percussive instrument. That's how most of us that use it see it. And some of us came into it through martial arts, and I know Seafood George really sees this as being brilliant for his moves and how it's utilized. And that's fine. For the people that are into that, I welcome them into the family and want to help them too.
Yes, sir.
But my personal issue is I really see how this can change people's lives far beyond just combatives.
Absolutely.
It's just like putting a drum in your hand, this is my drum.
Yes, sir.
And that's, I think we'd like to show some of that now if we get a chance.
I'd like to see more women.
And there is nothing about this that demands the difference between male strength over women. Women can do this just as easily. You can do this sitting down. There's nothing about what I'm doing that means I have to stand up to hit the speed bag. I can sit down and do everything that I do on this. People in wheelchairs, there's no reason why they can't use this. So, and are there any other questions?
I got one for Joe.
What's that? Got one for Joe?
There's two passions on display here. Your love of speed bagging and your creative side. So, what was harder, learning how to speed bag or deciding what to cut out of this film?
Yeah, it probably would have been cutting stuff out of this film, because literally thousands of hours of footage of these guys hitting. And that, that's one of the things I get an advantage to that Tommy brought up is I get to watch all of these great speed baggers and then slow-mo it and see exactly what they're doing so I can steal the moves. So it was fun. It's a passion, and I got addicted immediately. Same thing from YouTube videos, seeing Alan, Speedbag Skunk. That was it. And once you start and you get that rhythm, it drags you to it. And I'm kind of stuck. I hit probably a couple hours a day. Great to get away from the desk for a little while. If you get a little aggravated, it's always good. Good to go hit the bag for a little while. But it's really fun. I would encourage anyone to try it. At least give it a shot. I think you'll love it. We got a lot of converts.
Yeah.
Let me follow what he said with one caveat, because people mentioned a video of me, my history on the speed bag, because I started in 1972. So I'm a lot older than I look.
That was before TV.
That was before TV. Yeah. That it took me a while to develop some of the skills that I have. It didn't take the people that you see in this movie anywhere near as long to go beyond where I was. I can tell you, because he won't, Joe Saba is also one of the finest punch drummers in this room. And he's only been hitting the speed bag that I know of for about 3 years. Matthew was virtually a beginner when he got into this and met me. Now he's teaching me things, and that's been 3 or 4 years. This doesn't take long to learn how to do. They'll tell you it's because of the work that I did, and my system of showing it and teaching it must work because a lot of people got good really quick. And sometimes people say, well, so-and-so, it looks like they're faster or better than you. And I don't care. If I didn't want people to become better than me, I would have never wrote a book to teach them how to do it. I would have said, hey, look at this, figure it out. I wanted, and I fully expected them to, because I was lucky enough to go back to my teacher and show him things that he never did. And he was thrilled to death. And I know how he felt, because everybody in this room that's in that movie has shown me new things. I can watch G-Town up here, Lewis Fistro, and I still don't understand how he does that.
I know.
It's just amazing to watch. Tommy gets on and does his elbow moves, and all of us are in awe. I've watched Matthew the last couple of days staying at his house. I'm thinking, well, where does he come up with this stuff? And I can't do it. So I can tell you, they say I'm the speed bag king, and I'm thinking, well, here's the crown, folks. 'Cause trust me, these guys have gone beyond me, and that thrills me to death. I'm happy for that. And again, that has brought the wonder back to me. I am thrilled to death to be a part of this, because now I can advance my skills and take it. So I thank them as my students, because I know they give honor to me, but trust me, I'm in awe of them also. So now we'll start out by doing a little punch drumming, if you want to see what that looks like. So, and I think we'll start out first with, Matthew is, I have to really thank Matthew for arranging all of this, and I want to thank the Rosedale Theater here. This is a beautiful facility. I really appreciate what they've done for us. All my life I've dreamed of seeing this in the big screen, and here it is. So, that's kind of a bucket list moment for me. So I really want to thank you for that, and this community for coming out and supporting Matthew for that. And the whole reason why we're here, and the whole reason why I'm here, and I told you I was going to do this, I want to introduce you to my little friend. And I'm going to go ahead and let the man that really made this locally happen, Matthew, I'm going to let him go ahead and hit a little bit. Just a little on his own, and then at that point in time, we'll do a little punch drumming for you if you'd like to see that. Okay? Tom, come on. Have some of the people that were in the movie come up and show you a little bit what G-Town was.